Hello everyone, welcome to today's fourth video. We're going to have a look at the winter 2021-2022 for this fourth video. So we're doing our little sneak peek for winter, and we'll be explaining what goes into winter forecast. So we do this every year before we begin the winter updates. I like to go through the methodology and just show you what's coming up over the next few over the next few weeks, over the next 3 months. So that's what we're going to do. This will have a look at some long-range model data at the end of the video as well, by the way. So it's going to be a very interesting and enjoyable video, I hope. Please smash the like button if you are enjoying it. Been a busy old day at GavsWeatherVids today. We started with our 7 AM upload with releasing autumn forecast. That's the reason I'm doing this video, because the autumn forecast is now out there. It's released. Long-range bandwagon right now is rolling on to the next season of updates, which will be for winter 21-22. I've also released the last Sunday roundup as well for this year. So the last GavsWeatherVids Sunday roundup has been released too. We're going to be live streaming from 6 o'clock. It's a Sunday live stream, so we're going to show you some long range, and that's what we'll be doing at 6. No doubt you'll have questions about the autumn forecast. I'm sure I have questions about this little video as well. So I shall see you live in a couple of hours' time at 6 o'clock for our Sunday live stream. Okay, so let's start talking you through this, shall we? So, of course, the very first thing we did was the NAO forecast. We released that on the 6th of June. I better turn off the webcam because I'm obscuring slightly, I think. So, the very first thing we did was the winter 2021-2022 NAO forecast. We released that, premiered it on the 6th of June. It's had over 15,000, nearly 16,000 video views. It's been a massive video, one of the biggest videos we've ever done on the channel. Seems we've gone down exceptionally well, had 311 likes to 13 dislikes. So it seems like everybody who watched the NAO forecast this year has enjoyed it pretty much. And that's in the can, that's already there. But of course that is only our starting point, that's just like base camp. And now we've got to build upon the forecast. So I'll put webcam back up. Okay, there we are. So we've got to build upon the NAO forecast now with our winter updates. And so, of course, let's talk you through methodology. So the first thing we're going to be looking at will be via solarham.net. That is a website for solarham.net. By the way, I don't know if I can show you that, but there it is. That's Solarham. This is their homepage as well. So loads of information on that. I should show it more, I think, actually. This website. It's an absolutely amazing website. So do check out solarham.net if you're interested in, solar activity and all of that sort of stuff. But this is how the solar disc is looking on outside this, what I'm doing. This little sneak peek on the 24th of August. So we have got one little sunspot area actually just there, but I think solar activity is right now at very low levels. The upshot is we're going to be monitoring solar activity throughout the next 3 months. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on what the sun is doing. We're into the second year of solar cycle 25. We're comparable at this point in the solar cycle to 2010, like year 2 of solar cycle. And so we're going to keep a very close eye on solar activity in the coming weeks and through this season of winter updates. As always, we'll be keeping a very close eye on the oceans as well. So we're going to have 4 areas of interest. We're going to have the ENSO region, of course. As always, we'll be keeping an eye on what's happening in terms of El Nino and La Nina and all of that kind of stuff. We think we're going to have a weak El Nino for winter 2022, which will be like a second year El Nino. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on the ENSO region, see if that does indeed verify. We'll keep a close eye on the northern Pacific as well, particularly this northeastern part of the Pacific Ocean, see if there's any sign of a cool down taking place there. New from last year is the Indian Ocean as well. Be keeping a very close eye on what's happening in terms of the Indian Ocean dipole. At the moment, the IOD is in a negative phase. We'll see whether that's set to continue through the autumn and on into the winter. More about the IOD in our winter update. So, of course, we'll keep a really close eye on the Atlantic as well. Atlantic looking very warm. Certainly the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean looks really warm at the moment. Also, the tropical Atlantic looks pretty warm as well. Will we find our way to a tripod? Of course, we had a bit of a tripod signature when we did the NEO forecast in May. The idea behind that is that as we get into winter, the tripod, if it's very May, it should start to re-emerge in the winter. So will the tripod come back as we get into winter? We shall see. Time will tell. Pretty warm tropical Atlantic. That primes us perhaps for a big hurricane season. That's certainly what we're expecting. So of course, as ever, we will keep a very close eye on 2021 Atlantic hurricane season page at Wikipedia. And this is how the scores of the doors looking so far. Already, we've had 8 depressions, 8 storms, 3 hurricanes, and 1 major category 3 or above hurricane. So it's already quite an active season. It looks like things are going to get more active over the next few weeks. As I say, we are expecting a pretty big hurricane season. We keep a very close eye on that week by week in our season of updates. Shrine is primed and ready with the ACE, which is accumulated cyclone energy page, but Shrine updated for us during our winter updates last year. That's coming back this year, and you'll get to see, how ACE progresses through the course of the next 3 months. Of course, accumulated cyclone energy is another way of looking at the amount of energy these storms and hurricanes are emitting. So that's all to come through the winter updates as ever. We think we're going into, we think we are in an easterly QBO. This is from NASA. You see this blue-green area here descending from the stratosphere into the troposphere. Troposphere being for the HPA, of course. So it looks like the easterly QBO is well and truly established. We're expecting the easterly QBO to strengthen as we go through the next few months. And we think that winter 2021-2022 will be a strong and mature easterly QBO winter. In fact, I'm quite sure, I'm pretty confident that it will be a strong and mature easterly QBO winter. So we'll keep a very, very close eye on what the QBO is doing over the next few weeks, of course, and assume there's no changes, assuming nothing surprising happens, then we can expect that this winter will be an easterly QBO winter, and we'll see through reanalysis, of course, what that could be. As ever, we're going to look at the Arctic Oscillation and also the North Atlantic Oscillation as well, so we keep a very close eye on those indexes. The moment they're being signalled to be negative. Both the indexes, the AO and the NEO, being signalled to be negative as we go into the start of September. So we begin our winter updates, if this is right, those red lines at the end from GFS ensembles, if that's right, we'll begin our winter updates with a negative AO and a negative NEO, which is kind of like a situation for blocking within high latitudes and could signal something a little bit on the cool and wet side maybe as we go into September. But we shall see about that. We'll see about that and see what develops there. Of course we will. We'll keep a close eye on the stratosphere in the North Pole as well. So this is from metroshield.fr. Currently, we've got quite a warm stratospheric temperature over the North Pole at 10 HPA, as you would expect as we're coming to the end of the summer. This from weatheriscool.com. This is showing how zonal winds have been performing since last September 2020. Very, very shortly, this is going to be replaced with a whole new chart that will be for 2021, 2022. So all of those lines will disappear except the black trend line. And yeah, we'll see how it all develops over the next few weeks in terms of the polar vortex. Will it strengthen? Will we get a polar vortex of doom? Keep a very close eye on that. And this is going to be a new feature that we're going to have within our winter update. So at Copernicus, there are several high-res models, including ECMWF, that I've got shown here, that have got forecasts over several months for zone of winds at 10 HPA. And quite interesting at the moment, quite a few of these models at Copernicus are going for a weakening of zone of winds around December and into January. They might be picking up on the chance of an early sudden stratospheric warming. So that's going to be updated 3 times. That'll be updated in September, in October, and in November. So when these models update at Copernicus, we will bring you that data, we'll bring you that information, and you'll be able to see, you know, as we go through the season, whether these models start to pick up on the chance of a sudden stratospheric warming or not, you know, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that works out. But that's going to be something new, actually, for this season of winter updates. Of course, with early updates, we'll have a look at Arctic Cirrus extent, as we always do. So that's how Arctic Cirrus extent is currently looking, as we're around a couple of weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks away from the minimum for Arctic Cirrus extent this season. We are below average, we're below our long-term trends, but actually we're not as below average perhaps as we have been over some years. You'll see quite a bit about that in next week's first Winter 2021-2022 update. And of course, there will be a return of old favourites. So this has always been a fan favourite. We've shown this right from the very first season of winter updates in 2012. This is, you know, showing, will eventually show Eurasian snow cover. So at the moment, we're pretty much snow-free, except for limited mountainous areas right away from Western Russia all the way back to the far east of Siberia. But over the next few weeks, we're going to see that whole area fill up with snow. So snow will gradually, or maybe rather quickly, we'll have to wait and see, advance from east to west across the Siberian plain into the Urals, into Western Russia, and eventually to the gates of Europe. And we'll be monitoring week by week by week how quickly that happens, and we'll be comparing that to past years to see how we're doing in terms of the snow advance. We'll also be focusing on snow cover over Scandinavia as well, very importantly. So we'll keep a very, very close eye on that, and that is always a fan favourite, you know, always has been. People love to see how quickly that snow is advancing across Siberia, and that will be featured, of course, as it always is in this year's winter updates. The swingometer will return from update number 3. We need a couple of updates. You know, Richard needs a couple of updates in the bag to be able to get the supercomputer churning. But by update number 3, we'll be able to start bringing you our winter 2021-2022 swingometer, and that will be measuring, you know, through swing, how the winter updates are performing. So that proved to be very, very popular, big fan favourite last year when we did last year's winter updates. And the swingometer will be coming back. This is the swingometer from the NAO forecast, showing the negative NAO knocking on the head the positive NAO. So, yes, definitely, the swingometer will return. Rich is primed and ready to go with the swingometer, and you'll see that from update number 3. So that's going to be an absolutely fantastic update. I can't wait to do update number 3 and bring you the swingometer for the very first time. And of course, through it all, we'll be showing you reanalysis as well. So we're splitting the winter updates up into 2 parts. The first part will go through everything that I've just talked about. Part 2, which will be, and that will be released on a Sunday. Part 2 of winter updates will be released on a Monday evening. That will be the analogs side of things. This is, you know, how the summer is currently looking. Summer 2021, very strange sort of pattern with high pressure to the north of the UK and lower pressure to the south. So it's the reason that southern areas had a cooler, wet summer compared to northern regions. So, of course, we'll be bringing you reanalysis. All the things I've talked about, we will attempt to quantify through reanalysis and through analogs as well. By the way, and yeah, so there'll be loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of analogs coming up for you over the next 12 weeks or so. You don't need to worry about that. If you love your analogs, then they'll be featured in part 2 of winter updates every single week, right away from update number 1. And of course, the last thing that I haven't mentioned yet is going to be the long range model. So, as well as all of this, there will be 3 season model roundups for winter 2021-2022. The first one of those is going to be at the end of September. Second will be at the end of October, and the third and final one that is going to be at the end of November. And of course, we'll release our winter forecast either at the end of November or at the beginning of December. And just to round off this little sneak peek / what goes into winter forecast, I thought we'd have a look at a few models just to whet your appetite, because why not? So we start off with CanSips at chocolatetidbits.com. So CanSips are going for a largely anticyclonic, this is mean cell pressure, going for a largely anticyclonic winter at the moment. See them at high pressure centred over top of UK and Ireland, so high pressure in control for winter 21-22. It means that CanSips is going for a milder than average winter with above average temperatures. There we have it, a mild winter being forecast, not excessively so, but it is a little bit milder than average. And the precipitation anomaly is drier than average, as you would probably expect, with high pressure well and truly in control of the weather. Right, so I'm going to zoom out, I think, with this. So let's go to there and pull this out a little bit more. I think that's about it. Right, so this is CFS V2. So CFS have been playing around with blocking over the past 2 or 3 months, but it's backed off big time now. Look at this. Now CFS is going Atlantic driven winter 2021-2022 with low pressure to our north, high pressure to our west-southwest, and income westerlies. So CFS is just going for like a westerly zonal Atlantic-driven, mild, wet and windy winter at the moment. Will it bring the blocking back? That's the question. It's been sort of bringing it forwards and then easing off, and bringing it forwards and easing off. At the moment, it's easing off, the blocking signal. Will it start to pick up that blocking signal again over the course of the next 2 or 3 months? We shall see. Temperature anomalies from CFS-V2 are being forecast to be milder than average in most parts of Europe. And what are we looking at there? So a precipitation anomaly. That's a global view of precipitation anomaly, but never mind. It's basically going for like average precipitation, not much of a signal there. For precipitation. Right, okay, the ECM WF season model looks like this. So, going for high pressure to be blocking. This is November, December, January. Going for high pressure to be blocking around Greenland and Iceland. That will pull the wind in to the east or the northeast. So, potentially quite cold in the early part of the winter, but then later on in winter that blocking sort of goes away, the blocking disappears, so presumably later on in winter we probably revert to more of a westerly type setup. Going for a slightly milder than average winter with the ECM seasonal model, and also no particular signal for precipitation. I do think the ECM has cold potential though, early on in the winter, and then it eases off from that later on and goes milder. UK Met looks like this. So with this, I've got to zoom in. I'm having to zoom out earlier on. I'm going to zoom in with the UK Met. Here we go then. So UK Met has mean cell pressure anomaly for November, December, January. It's as flat as a pancake, really, with low pressure to the north and high pressure to the south and winds in from west. Very much in line with CFS V2. Flat as a pancake. That would be mild, wet and windy for this winter. It's going for a mild temperature anomaly, certainly the early part of winter anyway. Nothing cold in whatsoever there. And in terms of precipitation, a bit wetter than average to the north, but basically quite a dryish sort of winter there. Been very little here for cold lovers, but there is one last model I can show you that does look better if you like cold weather. This is Beijing Climate Centre. Beijing Climate Centre, along with the JMA, did very, very, very well last winter. They were 2 models, 2 Asian models from Japan and from China were the 2 models that picked up on the blocking last winter. The European models, including, I'm afraid, UK Met and the ECMWF, which we think of as like the best of the best, they completely failed last winter, has to be said. And the North American models, they all failed as well. Total failure from Europe and also from American models. And it was the Asian models that got the winter more or less correct. So the Beijing Climate Centre is definitely one to take note of, and is going, in terms of 500 millibar high anomaly for blocking, through this winter, with high latitude blocking around Greenland and Iceland, and you'll think that does bring in winds from the east. Actually, it gets more blocked as it goes further on, so February is the month, but it really is going to town with a chance of something a lot colder. But also January could be quite cold too. It's 200 millibar high tsunami again, with a lot of blocking within the northern latitudes again. The winds are in from the east during this winter, if that is correct. So definitely your Beijing Climate Centre hinting at what could be quite a cold pattern, especially later on in winter. The temperature normally is around or slightly above average, but it gets colder later. And the precipitation anomaly is quite interesting, actually, because notice it's generally drier to our west, so definitely not picking up on much rain coming in off the Atlantic. But for the UK itself, actually a bit above average with precipitation, and that presumably is being brought in on those easterly winds. So notice how it's going from like above average precipitation through much of Central Europe and also through Scandinavia. Presumably that's being brought in on easterly winds. Easterly winds could be bringing in an increasing risk of cold air and snow as we go further on into winter 2021-2022. And that's it. That is your sneak peek. That's what goes into winter forecast. So that's explained it all. You know now what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at, you know, all the things I've just talked about. We're going to be doing reanalysis and looking at long-range models as well over the next 3 months. It's going to be a very, 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 very interesting journey, and I can't wait to get started. We're going to get started next Sunday, a week today, is when we will release part 1 of the first Winter 2021-2022 update. I think we might premiere that. And also part 2 on Monday evening. How does that sound? Part 2 a week tomorrow in the evening. We might do a premiere for that and also premiere for part 1. We will just do the rest of the uploads, I think, then. Rest of the videos just as uploads, you know. But to start us off, to kick it all off, why not premiere part 1 and part 2 of the first Winter 2021-2022 update. So I think we'll probably premiere those next Sunday and next Monday. And I cannot wait to get started. I'm literally on tenterhooks. I'm sure you all are as well. Literally on tenterhooks to get going. And yeah, we haven't got long to wait now. Just 1 week to go. And it all kicks off yet again. Well, that's it. I'm going to see you later on for our live stream at 6 o'clock. And then I'm sure I'll see you next Sunday for part 1 of the first Winter 2021-2022 update. I shall see you there. It's going to be a cracking season of updates. It's going to be an epic journey. And here we go again. For this video, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.